Nothing will crush a real estate investor's spirit like landlord stress. The difference between being successful and miserable in managing properties is education. Welcome to Landlord University, where landlords learn. Landlord University is recorded from inside the RentPrep office, where Stephen White and Jeff Pearson share the lessons learned from working with some of the most successful landlords.
Welcome to Landlord University Night School. I'm Jeff Pearson, and I'm here with my co-host, Stephen White. How are you doing this evening, Stephen?
Pretty good, Jeff. I got another interesting topic here. Comes up pretty often. We do employment verification here at RentPrep, so this is something that we encounter now and again, for sure. It's under-the-table employment. And should you consider it? Should you count it as a landlord? Do you count that as income, or do you not count it as income? So, we had a landlord call in the other day and had this very case, and in the applicant's situation, his income almost doubled based on some handyman work that he was doing under the table. So he wasn't being taxed on it. He didn't have an employer. He was just doing it on the side and making pretty decent money at it. And without that, he wouldn't have qualified. The landlord had income requirements set in place, and with that, he qualified and then some. Without it, he didn't qualify. So the landlord had a pretty reasonable question: should I count that? Does that count? Should I consider that as income? So before I give my take on it and what my answer would be, what's your take on it, Jeff? What do you think?
Well, at first glance, you think, well, if they have the income and they can make the rent, then what's the big deal? But when you start to think of it a little bit deeper, what if you have to evict them and you have to go after them for money, then the money that they're getting under the table is not a part of the record, and it's not something you could garnish. Let's say if you got a judgment in your favor and you were going to go garnish their wages, well, the first thing they do is they get enough money to take home and live off of. And if they're not making enough, you won't get anything. They won't garnish half of their wages if it doesn't meet some minimal living standards.
Right.
So right there, it doesn't make sense.
Great point, for sure. I know the first thing that came to my mind, especially considering the specific situation that we saw, where the guy had, I would consider it a more dangerous job. Anytime you work on, roofing, construction, handymen certainly are in, more precarious situations than me, who sits at an office desk all day. If they get hurt, they're off the books. They have no workers' comp. So that, that's a huge effect on their income.
Yes.
So if they get hurt, that's it. They're just out that money. It's not like there's any insurance that's going to cover them, or like I said, workers' comp or disability or any kind of safety net in place. They're living, job to job, basically, with that extra income. So if that goes away, that's it. It literally goes away. Whereas if somebody has a stable job working for a company or an employer, chances are they're going to have those things, safeguards set in place that helps to maintain their quality of life, including paying their rent, in the event that they do get hurt, which happens. And like I said, especially with a higher risk job like a handyman or roofer or construction, which it just so happens to also be the type of jobs that we see people working under the table most often.
Mm-hmm. It's a really good point. The other piece to that is, how do you truly verify under the table payments?
Yeah. That was the the specific situation here too, was that landlord wanted to know, well, how do I verify that? And I said, listen, if you're even going to still consider it, your only possibility of verifying it is treating it almost as like a self-employed situation, where you're going to have to look at bank records to see stable income. You have to look at it as stable income. If the guy works off, or under the table 2 months out of the year and makes an extra couple $1,000s, I think that's one thing, versus if he's doing it week in and week out, and you can look at a bank statement and see, okay, he at least has $400 or $500 each and every week going in there. That might be a different situation than if it's just a once in a while kind of a thing.
Yes.
So the other consideration, something that again we see a lot of here, is the potential tax liability that this applicant has in the future. So the government doesn't love the idea that you're you're making out on on the deal and not having to pay into employment taxes or income taxes or anything like that. So if they do find out, and we see this, like I said, happen very often, that person's going to have a tax lien against them, and probably a pretty sizable one too, because they're going to go back and figure out what this person made, and we're going to tax them on that entire amount.
Which means they might not have enough money to pay the rent.
Exactly. So that would be, another consideration. Okay, this additional income may afford them the opportunity to be in this unit now because, we can consider that it's additional income and it's going to, help them meet those requirements. But now take that away and add an additional liability to that, because of the money that he'll end up having to owe. So you got a complete role reversal situation there. Not only is his income less, but he's got higher debt. And again, it's the government. They're not going to just forgive it and move on. They're going to get their money one way or another. And chances are they're going to get it before you get your rent. Yeah. So my personal stance on this is under the table employment doesn't count. It's good extra money. If your applicant's doing it, and hey, if they want to buy whatever it is, personal stuff, fine, whatever, but I would not count it towards their actual income, and considering, do they meet your income requirements? That has to be removed and taken out. In their regular job, assuming that they have one, should be the only thing considered at that point. Does their regular job have the income in order for them to sustain this, this place, and do they meet the requirements based just solely on that?
Yes. And if they do based on that information, then, power to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I would say. Great. You got extra money for, Saturday night or whatever you're doing with it. I don't care. But, as long as you have that, that income, it's on the books, you're getting taxed, you have the benefits of coverage from your employer should anything go wrong, which again, it does, so that's definitely a lot less of a risk for a landlord in that situation. But if you're counting that employment towards, or that income towards the whole thing, very, very dangerous territory there.
Yes. Well, great. That was a very interesting topic. I appreciate that and look forward to talking with you tomorrow evening.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks for listening to Landlord University, and remember to visit rentprep.com/landlordu to see show notes and access free resources like forms and guides. And be sure to check out Jeff Pearson hosting his own hit podcast at thementorimpact.com.